How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the coffee break yet again. Oh, incoming call from the wife. Please give me a second here. I will text her and let her know that I'm live. Um, 1 second, 1 second. Technical difficulties. Sorry, I am live. What's up? Okay, sorry about that. Okay. This week, happening over on the site while we wait for some people to roll in, we have some fun stuff. Nothing too crazy this week. The highlight, I think, is going to be the Missy Gannon Victory Confetti Thrashers, as well as the Cole Redalin Victory Confetti Tsunamis. We also have Calvin AVR's own AVR X's, Halo Fox, and some special edition own Swirly Destroyers. Then from Dynamic Disc, we have their new Drift Plastic. Comes with the EMAC Judge, Escape, Evidence, Sergeant, and we also have their Warrant. This is Midnight Mixtape. I don't really know what that means, but I'm excited to find out. So lots of fun stuff going on over on the site. Nothing too crazy, though, as we're getting revved up for Black Friday. But Impostor is officially here. Obviously, we were waiting for that for so long. The time has officially come. So let me know in the chat. What do you guys think? How was episode 1? Thank goodness I'm wearing a hat. Yeah, look, guys. Okay, let's address this as I'm waiting for some comments to come in. Obviously, yesterday we had the grippies, right? The grippies, you always get dressed up. My haircut is for the fact that I wear a hat every day, even to church. So I got 2 things going against me here. A, buzz my head because I wear a hat. B, hat tan line. Don't know if you can't see it on YouTube that much. You can see it on Instagram. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. I rock it though because I just wear a hat everywhere I go. Literally, I never don't wear a hat. So, when you never don't wear a hat, you don't have to worry about your hair ever. So I just buzz that thing and put it under a hat. That's how it works. But what do you guys think of Imposters episode 1? I'm so stoked that it's now out there in the public for y'all to see. I absolutely loved it. I think it turned out great. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Episode 2 is coming this week. I'm very excited for y'all to see that as well. Teddy said, thought it was good. Can't wait for more. Appreciate you, Teddy. Yeah, general consensus definitely seems to be people really like the updates to this year. Let me change the color of this because it's messing with YouTube. It's so bright. Doesn't matter. I think everyone seems to like the updates, the changes. Who was the guy that got voted out? Not going to answer that one. Count Luku. Come on. Can't spoil it for everyone because a lot of people here might not have seen it yet. And if you haven't seen it yet, go tune in. Episode 2 comes out on Thursday. So that's going to be fun. But anyways, we're just going to get straight into questions because I started this a lot later than normal. So just fire away. If you have any questions, it's going to be a short one today. And there's going to be a short one today. And then, yeah, I'll get back to work. Brody needs to take a step back and stop taking the lead so much. That's just, it's Brody's nature that he's going to do that. Episode 1 was great. Love the new role. Thank you. Yeah, I thought that was a good fun little twist in there. Last season made me do an imposter round with the boys. Yeah, imposter rounds are so fun. So much fun. But yeah, I'm very excited for y'all to see the rest of the season. I think episode 2 is a very solid episode. Episode 3 and 4, I think, are some of the best episodes of the series. And then episode 5 is obviously the finale. So Irish fan said, I like the production value and new twists. Who had input in the creation of the series? So the planning committee, if you will, was me, Silas, Connor, Brad, Jason. We kept Trevor completely out of it because Trevor we knew was going to be a contestant. We always have Trevor's input on, okay, as a contestant, like we already had this meeting. This is the only meeting Trevor's ever a part of, okay, which is like, as a contestant, what did you like? What didn't you like? What from production standpoint worked, what didn't work from the actual filming and execution of the show. We always have that meeting. And then from there on out, the actual like planning, all the twists, all of the sponsor activations, all of the All of that type stuff is just us 5. Jason, Brad, Connor, Silas, me. Um, and so yeah, I'm very proud of it. I think it's the best content we've ever created, so very excited about that. C Strong said, "How can companies continue to grow without pushing out a new disc or plastic every other week?" This is a great question. I think it's a question that not enough manufacturers are asking themselves, um, because right now that's kind of the model, right? But here's the deal, and because it's somewhat the golf model, right? Disc golf does it much more frequently, but in golf, what they're doing is a lot of times they're trying to update the technology, right? We've seen them change the faces, we've seen them change the materials, the stiffness, all this type stuff, right? Um, so the in disc golf, like a disc is a disc. We've seen the Q line innovation, we've seen gyro, um, but like a disc for all intents and purposes is a disc, right? And so what's tough for them is like there you can't really innovate this if you just release another like I got the oh, I know the trail. I got the trail here. I got a 10 speed trail. Like you can't really innovate a flippy 10 speed beyond like messing with the hand feel, but like a flippy 10 speed is a flippy 10 speed, right? So what I think that disc golf companies are missing is the bigger picture of general marketing. Because right now what they're doing is hyping up every new release, and in it, I think undervaluing and kind of like watering down the stock discs. Um, because like really to me, I think what companies should be doing is you don't want players throwing the special edition rare discs, or if they are, you want it to come across as if they're throwing the stock stuff. Like you want everyone throwing and pushing the meteor, the Z meteor, the Z buzz, the you know champ firebird. Like that's how Innova became so dominant back in the day. Was like pros bags seemed so accessible. Like nowadays, a lot of times, yeah, there's 10 times rocks and 11 time whatever. But like a lot of times it was like, oh, everyone had seasoned KC Pro rocks, they had beat in T-birds, but it was just like you could recreate their bag. I think that's the route that companies need to go. And disc golf companies can continue to grow is try to market the stock discs, make the stock discs the what's desirable. Um, and focus on that instead of focusing on the next big thing, the new release, the new plastic edition, all that stuff. So, yeah. BB Punisher said, "Do you consider other content creators in the disc golf world competitors?" No, I don't. I think the thing to think through here is with how we as humans consume content, you almost can't create too much content. Um, and I think the more I almost view it as like, you know, because retailers, yes, I view other retailers as competitors, right? You have to, because if someone wants to go buy a Neutron Trail, they're only going to buy one Neutron Trail at that time. Over the course of their life, they're going to buy several, but like you're making one purchase there. Versus if I sit down to watch YouTube, I might watch two, three, four, five, six YouTube videos, right? And throughout the course of a week, I might watch 20 YouTube videos. I don't know. It depends on people's viewing habits and stuff. On Instagram, the same thing. Like you're never scrolling on Instagram and like watching one disc golf video and being like, "Oh man, that's it for the day," and you're putting your phone down. So, is it competition in the sense of like eventually, yes, people will not watch, uh, like people won't watch any more content because they're done for the day. And if there's enough disc golf content, sure, but then that becomes just the merit of the content itself. And if you make content that you know will resonate with your audience and everything like that, it'll work. But yeah, anyways, so I don't consider disc golf content creators competitors. I view it almost as all of us helping each other, because the more people engage with Jay Millie's content, the more likely those people are to be recommended foundation content. And the same for us. The more people watch disc golf foundation disc golf content, the more likely they're going to be recommended a Simon Lizotte video or a Jay Millie video, or enter your favorite creator here, a Robbie C video. And so I think in that case, we actually all help each other. And so that's why we've tried to do so much of like helping other creators increase their brand, increase their, quality of their content, all that fun stuff, is because I view it as lifting everything. It lifts the whole disc golf content creation sphere. And then, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. How far out until this mystery disc is revealed? He's talking about this guy. Next week. Next week, you will know all about it. I actually have it in here today because, as you can tell, it's not stamped. So I have the stamp design fully done. Um, and I got to Photoshop a stamp on this bad boy for some marketing purposes. But yeah, next week you'll find out what this guy that's been in my bag for months at this point is and what we're doing with it. We're very, very, very excited. So Beam Team said Impostor was awesome. Got to meet Jay Millie at Gyropalooza. He said episode 3 is fire. Yeah. Episode 3 and 4, as I said, I think is the two best episodes of the series. Episode 5 is phenomenal because it's the finale. Episode 2, which it comes out this week, is still phenomenal. It's still great. Don't get me wrong. Um, but it has the least like we'll just say the least drama, if you will. But disc golf wise, it's a fantastic disc golf video. So yeah, episode 3 and 4, we really turn up the heat a little bit, if you will. So what am I sipping on coffee wise, of course? So I just got drip from my brother's coffee shop, Kinship. If you're ever in Lynchburg to play some disc golf, check them out. And I don't know what was on drip today. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. If I ever need something welded or fabricated, hit you up. Okay. I don't know if I will, but hey. Manufactured scarcity is the only way they start seeing the financial results they want. I agree with you what they're saying, but the dollar is being focused on more than the user. Well, Neil, so yes, in the short term, but that's what I'm saying is they're so focused on the bottom line for 2025, they're not thinking about the bottom line for 2030, 2040, right? That's my take is the best way to increase your like right now, yes, the best way if foundation wanted to make the most money next month as possible, and the month after that, and the month after that would just be special releases, crazy special releases as big as we could have happen, and just push and push and push and push and push them. But you're missing out like the viewer fatigue and the company fatigue because it's also way more effort to spin those around and then it gets watered down. We watched this happen during the end of COVID because that's what Foundation was doing in 2021. And we watched this happen. We watched our fan base get tired and we watched ourselves get tired of having to come up with all these new ideas over and over. Um, and so that's the thing of like, yes, there's a time and place for it. It's good to have, but eventually, like I think the best case in point for what I'm saying here is Ledgestone. If you've been in disc golf for long enough, you'll remember 2017, 18, 19, 20, like really once Paul signed on and Discraft became a hot commodity. So like 2019, 2020, those ranges, like the Ledgestone releases were huge. Like they would come in and they were gone in an instant. And we were ordering, like it was a big chunk of our revenue every year was Ledgestone. And the demand for those things was crazy because it was stuff people had never heard of before. Like it was the first time they'd ever seen an impact. It was the first time that they'd seen a crystal flex buzz, right? All this stuff. And so Ledgestone is the best case in point for this, in my opinion, because they had this model that was working really well, but the whole model was dependent on these hype special releases. And now what's happened is we've seen it all. Like there's not like, yeah, Z Jawbreaker and now the Fused Buzz from Discraft, like that's new stuff, but like for the most part, we've seen it all. And so the like desirability of it has drastically gone down overall. Their sales might have gone up because now they're increasing the amount of overall drops, but I would imagine that that's the next thing to kind of slow up is because the hype market is only exists if there's hype. And you can only manufacture hype around so many things for so long versus if you're able to just get people to desire the stock thing that's there and grow it that way, that's sustainable growth because now you just have more people want your stock force. More people want your stock destroyer. And so you don't have to manufacture scarcity or hype around it. You just have to keep telling people about how good it is. And then they're going to lose it. They're going to want to come back. And the good news of that is if I lost, let's say that I loved this David and Goliath run of trail. If I lose this thing, well, it's a special edition disc, right? So I would have to go find this disc again. Versus if this was just a stock neutron trail and I lose it, very easy for me to go get it again. and so you're going to increase trail stuff there. But yeah, hopefully, hopefully that all makes sense. I could be, and again, this is my opinion on it. I could be 100% wrong. Um, this is just what I've seen. So check your mailbox. Okay, I'll have to check my mailbox. My son watches foundation content before anyone else. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Great block, never miss it. Thank you, Sajo. My sons and I were the ones that met you guys at Ivy Hill on the final day. Had played 15 states, 74 courses in 2 years. Yeah, y'all are crazy. Other than Maple Hill, where you guys suggest we play next? I can't remember if you've played Eagles Crossing. That place is crazy. Um, so if you have made it out there, definitely check that out. The Fairway Wrangler said, I think I might know what cons over Stable Shaman in. Guarantee you don't, because it just changed somewhat recently. So we're still working. That's why it's still like kind of test. Is where we're still kind of figuring out what exactly that's going to be. That's why we haven't fully announced it. Other than I think it just says shaman with some bite right now. And Khan's throwing it because right now Khan's just testing what he wants it to be. So Tanner Desh said, favorite underrated disc. You know, Tanner, what's funny about this is I, on my run this morning, was literally thinking, like, today's a rainy day, so our filming got thrown out the window. So I was like, dang, now I have like a little few hour block where I was gonna be filming that I can do something else. And I think I might shoot a top 5 most underrated molds for our labs channel. Um, Personally, I think that in the current market, one of the most underrated discs is the Innova Rock, mainly just because I think that slot is kind of gone. I think the true mid-range slot has been kind of killed. Um, but the problem is it's been killed because people model their game after the Pro Tour when, like, in reality, in my opinion, you need the mid-range game at most of your local courses. So, yeah. Okay, we'll go like 2 or 3 more questions and then we'll wrap this thing up. Disc Texas, how do you juggle being a business owner, content creator, and a dad? Um, honestly, modern day, I don't struggle with it too much. It was because now I have a really phenomenal team in place that makes my business owner side not very stressful anymore. Um, I'm able to kind of come in, work on the business. A lot of my stuff I'm doing is like broader timeline stuff where it's not like if I don't do this, finish this by 5 p.m. today, I'm screwed. It's more just like working on planning for next year, working on planning for Black Friday right now, working on like that type stuff. Trying to be more future minded, planned out, budget stuff, all that fun stuff. And then content creation is just like my like what I do for fun almost. Like I know it's a big part of the job, but like that's just pure fun. And so we have a very structured, I think this is what surprises most people, especially when they come to town, is like all of us work either 7 to 3 or 8 to 4. I'm an 8 to 4 guy. I value my morning time with my family more than the afternoon time. Mainly just because I'm a morning person, my wife's not, so I can serve my wife by getting up and playing with Luca when he's super high energy first thing in the morning for longer, while she has time to have a slow morning and wake up. So I come in at 8, but all of us work structured like 7 to 3 or 8 to 4, Monday through Friday, right? Um, and then Saturday, Sunday, I mean, I work because I watch disc golf, but like, I mean, I'm gonna watch disc golf no matter what. Or according to the Grip Lock comments, I'm never gonna watch disc golf. So, um, but anyways, yeah, the nowadays I don't feel like I have to struggle balancing it too much. When I first started a business, it was hard because the day to day was fully reliant on you as an entrepreneur. So there was no like there I've always had other people with me. But like whatever I was responsible for, it like the buck stopped with me. Like it was I had to edit the videos, I had to get the promotional stuff done. I had to do all of it. And so that was hard because there was always to-do list that felt like a really high priority. And I'm very grateful I wasn't a father during that time because I didn't have my priorities straight to where like work just followed me home and I would just work Like, I worked from home a lot of that time, and B, I just didn't know when to turn it off. I was also, when we first started Foundation, also doing graphic design full time, and so, as a freelance graphic designer, you're as busy as you want yourself to be because, like, you can always take on more clients, you can always promote yourself more, you can always do more work, and your client timelines, it's like, the earlier I finish this, the earlier I'm done, so why not work 12 hours a day? But yeah, nowadays I don't struggle with it nearly as much. I- I'm sure my wife might disagree. She might think I still struggle with it some, but I feel like a big part is just having my priorities straight and understanding what's actually important. Like, a lot of times, if something slips behind at work that felt like life or death years ago, and now I realize, like, it's not that big of a deal at the end of the day. Yeah, I might lose some money here or there, but that's not life or death. So it's okay. And same thing at home. Like, sometimes there's stuff at home where it's like, it's not life or death. I can sacrifice that because I gotta take care of something at work, and it's not the end of the world. And trying to understand those priorities, I feel like, is a big thing. Would I recommend buying a Havoc from Latitude 64? Let me see what the Havoc. I feel like I've thrown a Havoc. I think I used to bag one. Let me pull it up on our site. I got to see what the flight numbers are on this thing again. Okay. Havoc 13.5 -1.3. No, that's not the disc I'm thinking of. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know much about the Havoc. It doesn't seem like we have any reviews on our site, so I don't know how people feel about it. For it. So, I mean, if it seems like the disc that will fit what you're looking for, then yeah, send it. Buy the Havoc. Um, but yeah. All right, we're gonna go like two more questions. That's funny, Shay. Justin said, "Just wanted to share. Foundation has helped my relationship with God. God is love, and thank you all for being so open." Thank you, Justin. Yeah, absolutely. We try. I think it's kind of a fine line, in my opinion, as a Christian content creator, because, like, where how I view our purpose as Foundation, right, is to provide family friendly uh, sports entertainment content. And why I think that's important in this world, obviously, and then also within that, there's the retail side that accomplishes a different thing. But from the content side, which I think this is more coming at, why I think that's important in this world is, like, especially when you get on social media in general, it's a very kind of like, it can be a dark and heavy place. Like, there's a lot of stuff that political, news, it's such a divisive place, and so we try to make content that everyone, believer or non-believer, can watch and just kind of escape from all of that. But in doing so, obviously, as a Christian, I know that, like, you can come to our content, right, and you can use disc golf and you can use our videos as an escape from the weight of reality, whatever that might look like for you. Something going on in your life, something going on in your world. As a Christian, though, I know that that is not what it's actually going to provide the relief. Um, I know that that type of the peace and what you're kind of searching for in that is only found in a relationship with Jesus Christ. And so, where I view Foundation standing is like, we're not a ministry, right? We're not a company that we're gonna, you know, beat you over the head with the Bible, if you will. Like, we're not going to, every time you click on a video, be sharing the gospel. But as Christians, you should see the light of Christ through us in the way we carry ourselves, the way we act. And we're not perfect. We're all sinners, right? So, you'll hand up, you've probably seen in many videos where that side of me has shown through. But I think that in doing it in a way where we're just leave it open, then the community building, the relationship building, people have noticed something different in us. And when people are searching for that, then it allows, if you want to message us and be like, yo, this is what's going on in my life. I don't get this. we're open for that always. That's the core. That's the important thing. You know what I mean? Because like I said, for some people, they don't want anything to do with Christ right now. They don't want anything to do with Christianity. And I think that still being able to be an escape for those people from the darkness of the world is a good thing. Of hey, we're here for you, whether regardless of what you think, what you believe, whether you hate us, whether you love us, it doesn't matter. We're gonna provide entertaining content that you can watch around your family. Um, and not have to worry about what's being pushed in it, what's being said in it. And that's something that I, as a father, always am looking for when I'm watching content. That's why I value Dude Perfect so much, is because it's something that is entertaining to me and my wife. Uh, Obviously, we're not their core demographic, but the key is I can watch it alongside my 3-year-old son, and I don't have to worry about what he's learning, the words he's going to use, anything like that. I don't have to worry about anything that's being on the screen during that. So like last night after dinner, we sat down, watched their all sports golf battle with their wives. And like that was just a good, wholesome, family friendly time, right? That's what I want Foundation's content to provide. Same thing with like I love watching or loved watching Barstool Sports like pick'ems and stuff like that, right? But when I had a kid, like I can't turn on their college game day stuff. Like I can't turn that on before college football because I have a son that's going to repeat everything that gets said. And you have Stu Feiner on the TV just saying something that like I is criminal. But I want to watch and consume sports content. So that's a really tough spot to be. So that's where for grip lock and stuff, I think also serves an important purpose because not that in disc golf that's a problem, but in the greater sports world, that is a problem. And so again, you can now watch the preview show before the tournament and know, hey, there's not going to be they're not going to curse or talk about crude things or anything like that in front of my family, and I can watch the what I want to watch and kind of serve those purposes. So I think that's how I view our content. And obviously, yes, I think it's awesome when it does lead people to the Lord and when it does do that. But the like as the content exists, I think to be a wholesome escape for people, if that makes sense. I think that's what disc golf is for so many of us, right? Is like, running has kind of started to fill that niche for me a little bit, just because I can do it in the dark with a headlamp on. Can't really play disc golf in the dark a lot with a headlamp on, but disc golf used to be that was my only source of solitude, right? Put the phone away, just get out on the course and play. And I think that is needed so much in society. If people would just when they see something on Facebook, instead of just freaking out and unfriending and commenting a like crazy storm against literally your cousin or something on Facebook, if you would just take a few minutes, put your phone down, go play 9 holes of disc golf, let your emotions calm down and digest where their person's coming from before you respond, like the world would be a much better place. Um, and so, yeah. Anyways, don't know how I got there. Long way around, but to saying thank you. Appreciate you. But all right, that is going to wrap it up for today. Sorry I didn't get too many questions, but I try to keep this in a certain time block, and I started late. That's on me. I'm sorry. Sorry about that, but I appreciate each and every one of you. And we're going to have a great week. Check out Impostor Season 2, Episode 2, Thursday, coming your way. You're not going to miss it. Like I said, you got 3 weeks left. You got 2, 3. No, you got 2, 3, 4, 5. You got a month left. A month left of Imposter. And why I've been saying it's the greatest series we've ever created. Obviously, you loved episode 1, but the whole reason I've been saying it's the greatest series we ever created hasn't happened yet. So just you got some juicy stuff coming, man. Cannot wait for y'all to see it. Appreciate each and every one of you. And yeah, talk to you later. Oh, Cannon said